will understand Git, GitHub in this video. So let's find what is the use of Git and GitHub. First, let's understand a problem. Let's assume that you are developing a software, okay, and there are 5 people working on the same software, okay. So basically, let's assume there are 3 people, right? There are 3 people. You have to work on the same software, right? How 3 people can work on the same software? 3 people have 3 separate laptops, okay, and if one person changes the code in one laptop, the other person cannot see, correct? So if 3 person has to work in the same code, the code somewhere should be in a common place, okay. So this is the internet. The 3 people can be connected to the internet, and the code can be present in a common server, okay. Now the 3 people over the internet can access the server, and the 3 people can make the changes to the code. Now the second problem is, if one person is changing the code, right, the same time other person cannot change, should not allowed to change the code, right? The third person should not change the code. So this problem is big, right? If one person started changing the code, other person has to be idle, right? Suppose there are 3 people, it's okay. If I have a project of 300 people, when one person is changing the code, other 299 people, right, they cannot sit idle, right? So that's a big problem, right? So how you solve this problem? Okay, you solve this problem using GitHub and Git. Okay, so you put the code in a common server, okay, that is GitHub. Okay, this is a server where you host your code. It's a code repository, okay. And we cannot change the code in the code repository, okay. You cannot go and change the code here. What you have to do is, you have to download the code to your machine, make changes to the code, run the code, and you, once it is done, right, once the code is running properly, the changes alone you have to push to the server. Okay, so in that case, right, this guy will download the code, he has the own code here. The second guy will download the code, he has the own code here. So everyone can work parallelly because they have a copy of the code. Okay, so when you make changes to the code, right, what you have to do is, you have to send a request to merge your code in the server. That is called as PR, which is called pull request. Okay, so that is the process to raise a pull request. Okay, so this is how you make it. When you make a pull request, right, all your team members, right, there will be a code review generated, and all the team members will be notified, and everyone can see your change. They can comment on your change. Once everyone approves your change, then there will be some testing happening, and the maintainer of this code, right, he can merge your changes there. So these are the process you need to follow to make merge your changes. Okay, so this is the advantage. Now you learned about GitHub. It is nothing but a server where it has a, where you store your code, right? It's a code repository. Now what is Git? Now Git is a tool which is present in your PC. You are downloading the code, right? For that you use Git. There is a command called git clone to download the code. Okay, and then you make a changes. After you make a changes, right, you test it, and then you commit to your local repository. This is here you downloaded, right? So you have a local repository. You commit to your local repository. For that you do a git commit. Once you commit to a local repository, right, then you raise a PR. For that you have to push your changes, right? Then for that you use git push. This git push command raises the PR. Actually, this raises the PR, right? Okay. So Git is a tool which is used in a local machine to basically download the code, to commit your thing and push your changes, right? To see, so major of the things, right? And it is also the version control tool. What is version control is, now this is Bala, this is Mala, this person is Mala, this is Sala. Now, this guy is pushing some changes, this guy is Mala is pushing some changes, and Sala is pushing some changes. We need to keep track of who is pushing and what changes he is pushing, right? So somebody has to control the version, right? It has to maintain the version. Like this change, okay, this change is pushed by Bala, okay, and this change is pushed by Mala, okay. So in Git log, right? If you put Git log, you'll get a list of messages, okay, which will display the changes each person pushed, okay. We will see those commands practically. Okay, so we have to, it has to maintain who pushed and what are the changes pushed by him, right? So that is what is called as version control. Okay, you maintain the version, right? Each push, right? You maintain who pushed it and what are the changes, right? That is what is version control. Okay, so this is what is Git and GitHub, right? Git is used to download the code and execute all the commands to deal with a common code base, right? Now we will see, if you want to create a repository and if you want to host your code in the GitHub, what you have to do, okay? How to create a repository and how to push your code here, and that is what we are going to see now.